Why Europeans hate the taste of American chocolate. All right. I gotta say, I like American chocolate. I mean, I'm trying to think of. I've definitely had Swiss chocolate. Ghirardelli? Is Ghirardelli American? I feel like they are. I've been to the Ghirardelli factory that is in San Francisco, but Ghirardelli doesn't sound like an American company, though. It sounds European. Nonetheless, I appreciate you guys stopping in. I'm gonna find out why Europeans hate the taste of American chocolate. Let's go.
While us Americans are mindlessly chomping away at our Hershey's bars, some of our friends across the pond are kind of disgusted by what we're eating.
Only use Hershey's if it's for s'mores. It's the only time you use Hershey's.
Even though it tastes good to us. They've said American chocolate tastes like vomit and earwax, called it sour and bitter.
In some parts, it's a matter of
brutal.
taste, yes. But actually, there's a scientific reason why Europeans think our chocolate tastes so bad.
It's got to be something in the ingredients that we add.
First, we have to do some debunking.
If you look at the nutrition labels of a European Cadbury bar and an American Hershey bar, this is what you'll see. All the ingredients listed by net weight. You may note that in the Hershey's bar, the first ingredient is sugar, but in the Cadbury bar, the first ingredient is milk. So you might think, bingo, there's the reason some Europeans say American chocolate is sickly sweet. But actually, you'd be wrong. In the US, milk is weighed in its evaporated, powdered state, while in the UK, it's weighed as a liquid. So actually, they're pretty much the same. The other main difference is that they use different emulsifiers, which smooth the chocolate. Hershey's uses soy lecithin and PGPR, while Cadbury uses E442 and E476.
You know, Cadbury is way better than Hershey's. Like I said, Hershey's is for s'mores. That's it. You don't use Hershey's for anything else. I don't really eat chocolate too often, so if I do, I'm picking up Ghirardelli if I'm getting something. But Cadbury is bomb. I don't know what any of these things are, but she's going to let me know right now.
While Cadbury uses E442 and E476. Again, this seems like a big difference. But actually, E476 is just the European name for PGPR. Wow, that's a mouthful. Another common argument you might hear is that there's a different amount of cocoa in American versus European bars. The US has a requirement for 10%, while EU law dictates that it must be at least 30% cocoa. US law says that 10% can only be cocoa powder, but the EU's 30% contains cocoa solids, aka both cocoa powder and cocoa butter. So again, they end up being pretty much the same.
You might be starting to think that this is hopeless. They're practically the same chocolate.
But these theories are focusing on the wrong ingredients. Let's now shift our attention to the most important ingredient, Milton Hershey. It was 1894 when 37-year-old candy manufacturer Milton Hershey decided to produce sweet chocolate as a coating for his caramels. It was a novel concept for the day, considering that milk chocolate was a rare treat for the rich and famous. Before this time, the intensive production process just wasn't possible on a large scale. But Hershey found inspiration from Henry Ford's production line and decided to apply that process to chocolate. It was a smashing success, and their flagship factory in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, became the Hershey Chocolate Company. In 1900, the company began producing milk chocolate in bars, wafers, and other shapes.
I bet you anything like the Hershey chocolate from the mid-1900s, it was probably actually really good. Like before they changed the ingredients and they put all the crap in it that they put in American food nowadays. So, yeah.
Mass production. Hershey was able to lower the per unit cost and make milk chocolate for cheap. Hershey
maybe not.
Their chocolate companies to have the cheapest chocolate bar in stores, and therefore the most accessible. Being a savvy businessman, he knew that increasing the quality or flavor would result in slim profit margins. So he decided to focus on the back end, aka the accumulation of ingredients. After he fine-tuned his cacao, he decided to focus on the next most important ingredient in a chocolate bar, the milk. And at the time, the early 1900s, fresh milk could not be legally stored for longer than 72 hours. That put a real cramp in Hershey's style, considering that after 72 hours, any unused milk had to be thrown out.
So is this where powdered milk came from, I would assume?
And having fresh milk in chocolate meant that it couldn't be stored as long, even in bar form. So,
Really? Even in bar form?
to do something to the milk in 1930. It's actually still a trade secret to this day, but experts speculate that he created a secret process to alter the milk. It kept the milk fresh past 72 hours. It gave Hershey the
Okay, if it's past 72 hours, it's not fresh. I think the word that they were looking for there was edible, not fresh.
edge to make the cheapest and most widely accessible milk chocolate.
But that process had an unexpected effect on the chocolate itself.
The secret method is known today as lipolysis. In lipolysis, enzymes introduced to milk break down fatty globules into smaller, more stable fat molecules. In order to kickstart this process, you first need butyric acid. It's a compound that partially sours the milk, but does give it greater shelf life. The resulting flavor is instantly recognizable. It's also found in Parmesan cheese and vomit. And particularly high quantities of it are found in baby's vomit. It's sour and bitter, sometimes in a good way,
Why would anyone
like
do this?
pungent cheeses, and sometimes in a bad way, obviously.
Okay, pungent cheeses, I actually do like. You know what the craziest thing is that like humans drink milk from another animal? Isn't that wild? I don't think we're supposed to do that, like personally. And this is coming from someone who does like cheese and milk and cream, and I cook with it all the time, but it's still wild to think that like we're just, oh, look at that animal over there that it's feeding its little baby calf. I'm gonna go over there and drink that milk. It's just so wild. So wrong. Fight me on this. I dare you.
It was first discovered in 1814 by French scientist Michael Chevrel, who was interested in finding the chemical responsible for the smell of butter that had gone bad. It's also the chemical responsible for that wet dog farmyard smell. It's
Jeez.
secreted from dogs' anal glands, so try
my
not to think
gosh.
of that next time you eat a Hershey's Kiss.
But
Yeah,
don't
we'll turn
worry,
it off.
the butyric acid in chocolate is from milk.
Today, European chocolates are preserved for
those look
similar
good.
amounts of time by using different chemical preservatives and specially sealed plastic packaging. But Cadbury still recommends that their milk chocolate is consumed within a year of it being produced. So does
Okay.
Hershey, so by now they're pretty similar. Lipolysis allowed Hershey's chocolate to take a resounding lead in the American chocolate wars. But World War II is what caused the taste of this chocolate to conquer American palates. During the war, Hershey's chocolate scored a coveted contract to make military D rations for the American Army. By 1945, Hershey was producing around 24 million bars a week for soldiers. These bars were a staple in the diets of the hundreds of thousands of soldiers away at war.
Chocolate for soldiers.
They were so beloved that Hershey was awarded 5 Army-Navy E-Production Awards.
I mean, I would imagine that like eating chocolate during war probably helps boost morale a little bit. It's something that you can indulge in and enjoy for at least a moment, but still.
In contrast, Cadbury, Hershey's biggest European competitor, offered up
Yeah.
its factory to make airplane parts and manufacture wartime supplies. They didn't manufacture any food at all, and in fact, in Britain,
Really?
chocolate was rationed.
This allowed Hershey to establish a taste monopoly. Almost every American soldier came home wanting chocolate that tasted the same as the one they'd been eating for years.
Since
Yeah.
all of the bars that Hershey made for the government used this top-secret milk stabilization method, soldiers got used to the unique taste. In fact, they got so used to it that it became their new normal.
See, this is what I tell my kids about eating spicy food, or just any food for that matter. I'm like, just keep eating it over and over and over again, and eventually you'll like it. It's the same thing with beer and alcohol and plenty of things. You know, the stuff that's like probably bad for you, not the food, but the alcohol.
Or two, other chocolate companies in the US added butyric acid to their chocolate to mimic the flavor of Hershey's that all the soldiers absolutely loved. It became a staple of American commercial chocolate.
If you're
Not gonna lie,
in the
that looks
US
good.
like me, you probably don't even notice it when you're chowing down on that chocolate bar from CVS.
Today, lipolysis isn't necessary due to chemical advancements in food chemistry. Hershey still does it because the taste is
Okay, I gotta stop this really quick. I've got to figure out where Ghirardelli is from because they just keep talking about Hersheys, and I am curious if Ghirardelli is an American company. I don't think it is. It sounds German, right? Is it German? Let's see here. Where is Ghirardelli? I'm gonna butcher spelling this. Chocolate from I'm spelling horrible right now.
You idiot. You're honestly an idiot.
I can't even spell Ghirardelli. Croc says, I believe you meant Ghirardelli chocolate. Company is an American confectioner founded in San Francisco, California. Okay, I was right. So we do have good chocolate. I'm telling you right now, if you guys haven't had Ghirardelli chocolate, it's really good. So I like it a lot. They just keep talking about Hershey's though, so I had to look.
what all of us know and love.
Gotta defend the US a little bit.
Chocolate brands have stopped adding butyric acid to their chocolate in favor of marketing it as similar to European chocolates. With trends moving towards an appreciation of organic, pure foods, Hershey may not be at the top of the chocolate world much longer. But it's hard to beat their super cheap, super accessible chocolate.
Yeah.
So don't expect it to go away anytime soon. But Europeans certainly notice, since none of their chocolate companies use the lipolysis method or supplement their chocolate.
So on behalf of Americans, I am very sorry that our chocolate tastes terrible to you. But it's not our fault.
I think it is our fault. I think we're the ones that did it. What does she mean? I know she means like average Americans nowadays, but how many chocolate companies are in America? I can't even, I gotta imagine there's a good amount. And it's like chocolate has kind of turned into kind of what's happened with beer in America, where like beer used to just be like 3 big companies that made all the beer, and then now you have like all these micro craft breweries. And same thing with chocolate. It used to just be Hershey's and Reese's, which I'm sure is probably owned by the same company, I would imagine. And now we have a bunch of smaller chocolate companies. That was really interesting. I like that one a lot. That was cool. Learned some stuff that I didn't know, and I had no idea that Europeans hated American chocolate. Let me know in the comments if you guys have tried Ghirardelli chocolate, because I'm gonna be, oh gosh, I'm gonna be torn if you guys are like, nope, Ghirardelli chocolate still a piece of crap. It's gonna be a sad day for me because it's my favorite. Appreciate you stopping in. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, you guys.